Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome to this last and final Warrior Wednesday. That's of course, if we don't get the Warrior yet, when we get a new Warrior I'll of course cover them in a new Warrior Wednesday episode. But for now, as there are no other Warriors left, this will be the last episode for the Warrior Wednesday in a while. As you can see, the enemy team does consist out of 4 physical damage dealers, so I am going for that physical defense to start off this game. Let's head right in and go for his passive. So Odin has an interesting passive. It has to do with his ultimate, so just not to bother you yet with the details, I'll cover it when we are covering his ultimate, so it makes more sense. So let's just start off with his 1. His 1 is just a leap. There's not a whole lot to it, other than it's the slowest leap in the game, so that can be unfortunate, but it deals damage upon landing. And it has a good synergy with his 2. As you can see here, I use my abilities. Fortunately enough, they are able to focus me down, and the beautiful weakening curse from the enemy, and I already get picked off. I missed my entire I missed my entire 1-2 combination. I missed my leap. Like I said, it's the slowest leap, so you can dodge it easier than other leaps. It's unfortunate I still missed. So it's not a great start, but sometimes you have those starts and sometimes you have great starts. That brings me to my second ability. Odin's second ability is a shield. And with that shield, you can see dealing a good amount of damage actually. Let's just start off. His shield's probably his most important ability in his kit. Very interesting one as well. When he activates his 2, he activates a shield, as you saw here. The shield will protect you from damage. The shield is 100 to 400 health from, well, what you will gain from it. And it has some physical scaling, so with physical power you will get more health from it. So that's pretty good, works out great for you in most of the situations. But it has interesting kit. After a certain amount of time, it will detonate, dealing damage depending on the amount of health is left on that shield. And you can also detonate it prematurely by using your leap. When you land with your 1, you will instantly deal the damage of your dunk, and as you can see here, dealing the damage to the Hoi, able to finish him off with the Nox rooting him in place. So even though I gave up first blood, we already have picked up 4 kills in the meantime. So that's just great for us. I couldn't really go for it. At the moment I'm really mana consuming a lot. My combination, my 2-1 combination, which does most damage in my kit, huge amount of damage actually. It's a great burst damage, but it cost me 110 mana at this point, so that's about a fourth of my entire mana pool. So that's really unfortunate. As you can see, I'm going for that Xbalanque, and we are able to pick him up, so that's just great. I am forced back a bit. I am going to defend, not allowing those minions to get through, because you don't want that to happen. Like I was saying, the shield. Some interesting thing, if you didn't take any damage when you leap with your shield, or if you just didn't take any damage, your shield will detonate and dealing a 25% additional damage. So if the shield had, for instance, 400 health, you will get a 25% additional damage for it when it detonates with that entire 400 health, allowing you to deal 500 damage with that shield, which is just nuts. And we are able to peel 4 our Nox, which is great. She is barely able to dodge the Nox ultimate, so great, well done on her part. I am moving forward. I am using my ultimate. You've seen me use it before, and with again the bird bomb combination, that's what it's called, his 2-1 combination, I'm able to pick off one of the enemies. So let's continue with his third ability. I think I covered his 2 and his 1 enough for this point. His third ability is just a slow. As you can see here, actually it slows for 40%, but it does not deal a lot of damage. It deals damage twice, slowing everyone around the Odin, dealing damage. The slow lasts for 2 to 2.8 seconds, so not too long of a slow, but definitely a strong one, because 40% you will feel that. You won't max it out as the Odin, you will max out your 2 and your 1 first, because your bird bomb combination just deals so much insane damage. And your 3 basically doesn't, so you'll even put a point earlier into your ultimate than you would at your 3. Nice root actually prevents me from going forward. Again, Soul well, not Soul, Nox sometimes annoying to deal with, but doesn't matter too much. I move forward. I figured I would have had enough damage to deal a good amount of damage to that buff camp, but definitely not the case. Actually, it's a cat doing a good amount of damage to him, even if I have the defense with the defense I have, and that's just because of her passive damage dealing through damage, percentage through damage. Rather unfortunate, our Ra has disconnected. I'm not even sure if he was it from the get-go, to be honest with you, but that's alright. We still are working great together, so can definitely work out in our favor this game. Let's continue with his ultimate, and probably one of the most important things. As you can see here, I used it. His ultimate is a cage. In this cage you can trap your enemies. Through your cage you can hit any attacks, so you can just hit your basics, your magical abilities, your physical abilities, everything that's long range can go through those walls. So you can't really use the Hercules boulder to bounce in that cage anymore. It used to be that way, but it can't be done anymore, and that's just because of the fact that every ability can go through. And as you can see, Nox going inside me, going back to base as well. So, what does his cage do other than trapping anyone? It also reduces their healing for 100%, which is just insanely an amount. And with the low cooldown on it, you can see it, it's about 45 seconds with the 20% cooldown reduction I have. So that's a really good amount of, well, it's just a very low cooldown ultimate, which is very powerful, especially against a team with basically no leaps. This team has no real leaps other than the Saket or the ultimate from, well, actually he has escape as well, but the ultimate from the Ravana can deal with it as well. As you can see, you can use your 2 to just shield a lot of the damage. I'm trying to dodge as much as possible. They are going deep for me. Nice root from the enemy Ravana, but barely not enough to pick me up. So I am able to leap out, leap into safety, and we are able to pick up that Ravana that went very deep for me. So, and you're probably thinking, so the cage is pretty powerful. Healing reduction for 100%. Trapping them, well, it's a trap for 6 seconds, which is a huge amount of time. And not only that, it also reduces the enemy attack speed. So that's just, it's just a nuts ability at this point, especially since I can walk out of it as well. They changed that, definitely worked out great for Odin, because you can peel for your team as well as for yourself, because you can, well, walk out of it now. Usually, it used to be that you could only leap out of it. So if you use your bird bomb combination, your 1-2, you actually your 2-1, then you couldn't leap out of your cage and you would die in your own cage, which would have been rather unfortunate. And as you can see, a dunk of damage, dealing 600 damage to that enemy. Shibalanke. That's just nuts. It's especially something that's very powerful of the Odin, dealing so much of damage. As you can see, again, dealing a huge amount of damage to the Nox. Hitting your combination is just insane, especially against those more squishy targets. I'm trying to peel for my Thanatos, and it does work out. He survives, and we are able to pick up the Ravana. So, the attack speed slow, how much is it, you ask? Because I'm rambling on about this game again and again, but the slow attack speed slow is 20% at rank 1 to 60% at maximum rank. So if you're a hunter and you're in the cage, you will definitely feel it, because you can't do a lot of auto attacks in the time if my ultimate is at maximum range. Maximum rank. It lasts for 6 seconds, so a huge amount of time. And my passive, like I was saying, has to deal with my what's it called? My ultimate. If you get a kill in your ultimate, you will get passive power stacks, which is nuts because since the cage lasts for so long and it's so powerful, I just use my cage here. I just walk off. My team is able to try and kill someone. Nice Aegis prevents the Xbalanque from dying in my ultimate, which allows him to survive, well, long enough for me not to get the passive stack, because if the cage is gone you don't get passive stack anymore. You get 5 power per passive stack. It stacks up to 10 times, so if you kill 10 persons in your cage, it doesn't even need to be you. If someone dies in your cage, you will get that passive stack. So you get 50 power from your team being just there for us. And as you can see, I used my cage, peeling for my Thanatos, so he can get out safely. And I'm just walking out of my cage, using my shield as a shield, and leaping away. Nice ultimate from the Saket. I am basically dead, I figured. But with the shield I can actually prevent the damage, the last final damage from the Saket ultimate coming out. And I'm able to survive. With the 40% cooldown reduction, Odin is just nuts. Can use his shield an awful lot of times, which is just insane. As you saw there, Thanatos did hit his ultimate, but just barely the enemy healed up enough for him not to be in execute range. So that was rather unfortunate for Thanatos. And he was picked up. Aura still hasn't returned yet, but that's alright. Let's go over to his build a bit. Like I said, I went for the sovereignty because they do have 4 physicals. It allows my team to have more physical protection as well. I'm going to try and peel for my Neath again. But I also don't want the minions to get through, so I do need to split my attention a bit. And unfortunately enough, Nox, well actually, looks like she's able to escape, so well done on her part. Great use of that Aegis. But after that I went for the power boots. Power boots work great with his 2-1 combination. His bird bomb is just very powerful, and additional power will deal a huge amount of damage with it. As you can see, I do a good amount of damage to that Nox, even though I don't have any physical damage items other than my boots and my Jotuns. I went for Jotuns and breastplate, and that's just because to get the full CDR. Full CDR is very powerful, and the Nox is actually able to peel for me to prevent the Ravana from just continue to hit me with everything he got. So that just worked out great for us. I have enough physical defense to deal with them for a while. I also have my shield, so that keeps me safe in a lot of situations, as it saved me from the Saket ultimate earlier. And as you can see, you can use your cage for a lot of stuff, but sometimes you can actually trap this Juggernaut unit thingy. Fortunately enough, I get picked up. Nice CC combination stuck me in place, and they are able to pick me up. I'm going to get some more physical and magical defense with the Spirit Robe, or I can go for that new item, Mantle of Discord. So again, caging, didn't pick up anyone. Well, actually the Sakets picked up, as you can see, 6 stacks on my passive already, just great. And I used my sprint. I wanted to use my sprint to allow my team to catch up. I didn't use it, couldn't get in range in time, and the enemy also used their sprint, so it was no use. I went for some magical defense as well. The Bulwark of Hope is very powerful, like I said in some earlier games. It's a very powerful, definitely a very powerful ability. Ability item, of course. And also grants me some magical defense against that enemy Nox. And again, trapping the enemies. Aegis used by the Xbalanque, but he gets picked up by our Thanatos. Sket is, well, was chasing me, not really too much anymore. I am moving forward though, want to peel a bit for our Nox so she can get out safely. And I'll just head back to the base. And the enemies do surrender, 4 against 5. We are able to pick them up because they went for the 4 physicals. I had some good amount of physical protection, so they couldn't do too much to me. And Nox is one of the most difficult magical damage dealers to secure her damage. So that made it very difficult for them, and we are able to pick up that win. So my build is basically countering the enemy, and the full cooldown reduction allows me to use my cage a huge amount of times. So with that, I had about, I think, 35 seconds of cooldown on my ultimate. It has a 60-second cooldown, just basically. And with the 40% cooldown reduction from the breastplate and the Jotuns, I have full cooldown reduction. It's about 35 seconds on that ultimate, which is very powerful. And as you also saw there, my shield is a lot more often up, so I can use it a lot more. So that worked out great for us. I went for the blink because you can surprise cage a lot of people, especially if they don't have any escapes. Hoi and Saket had an escape, but the others didn't really. So the Shibboleth Nox definitely had a rough time in that cage. And the sprint was just basically to deal with the Ravana bit and allowing my team to get away or engage on the enemy a lot more easily. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any requests on what god or what kind of god to play next for as replacement for Warrior Wednesday, I still need to cover the Guardians, the Hunters and the Assassins. Which one should I cover next on the Wednesdays? And also, how should I call the series? Because Warrior Wednesday sounds great, Mage Monday sounds great, but I don't have any good combination yet for the Guardians, Assassins and those Hunters. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something, I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.